Good morning. Can you hear me? All right. Well, last week I shared with you my favorite story throughout the entire Bible, the story of Elijah, and he's running from Queen Jezebel, and I was bummed out. Aaron was bummed out you weren't here because I know you love the stuff that takes place just a bit before that on Mount Carmel, but you gotta listen to the podcast now, man. Sorry. So I shared that last week, but today I want to share with you what is probably my second most favorite. I mean, it's tough to pick. It's within the top 5, at least, for sure, okay? And today we're going to be looking at a story from Exodus chapter 14. Of course, you can see it. It's on the screen, so if you have your Bibles, go ahead and turn, please, to Exodus chapter 14. We'll be reading from there in just a few moments. But where we start in the text today is a very odd place. It's as Everett would say, "Oh, brother, where art thou?" We're in a tight spot. We find the Israelites and Moses, and they're at the Red Sea. But this isn't the part where they're going to part the Red Sea. This is just before that. And so they're stuck. They're kind of in this predicament, I guess we would say, in our common language today. They're standing here, and in front of them is the Red Sea. Behind them is the Egyptian army that's coming toward them, and they're not coming to give them hugs. They're coming in to destroy them. And basically, suffice to say, there are mountains on either side. I mean, they're pinned in, they're boxed in. There's nowhere to go. They're stuck. They are right here. Seems like no way out. No hope. You ever have that feeling? Anybody show of hands? No hope. How many of you would love more? By show of hands. Wow, not as many as I thought. I figured everybody would want more hope. We all want more hope. These Israelites, but they're stuck in a situation right now where they need hope in a big way. They're boxed in, literally. There's nowhere to go. Now we have to ask the question, how did they get there? I mean, if that's where we open the text today, how in the world did they even get there in the first place? Well, we need to do what we've been doing over the past weeks, and we need to go back to the previous chapter. We need to take a look at chapter 13, and we find out very quickly that God led them there. In fact, in chapter 13, let's read it together. It's verse 18. It says this: "So God led the people around by the desert road toward the Red Sea." Yeah, God led them there. Now, it's not on the screen or in the PowerPoint, but if you continue reading to verse 21, it says very clearly that God went before them. It means he went out ahead of them. So he didn't just lead them there, he went ahead of them there. Of course, that's how we lead, isn't it? We don't get behind like this and push, right? God gets out in front, and he's leading his people to that place. And what I love is the way he led them. See, he led them with this pillar by day and by night. During the day, it was this cloud. Try to imagine this cloud that goes from the ground straight up into the heavens, and it's this kind of this narrow pillar-looking kind of an object. And it's just there. Now, you can't see it at night. Well, I guess you could kind of see it at nighttime, but God made sure you could see it at night. And so at nighttime, it was a pillar of fire. And it was great. I mean, think about how amazing that would have been. I mean, for real. It was easy peasy, right? It was simple. They couldn't mess it up. They couldn't. We can't even say they could. They couldn't. They could not, literally could not mess it up. It was, as we would say, it's paint by the numbers, or it's a copy-paste, right? What does God want? Well, you just got to look up. Where's the big pillar? Where's it at? I mean, if it moves, you move. If it goes to the right, you go to the right. If it goes left, you go to the left. If it stops, you stop. If it backs up, you back up. I mean, it was so simple, right? My goodness. Wouldn't it be awesome if God did the same thing today? Wouldn't it be awesome if just the same exact way he would lead us today? Man, you're wondering, is this the job you want me to have, God? Or is there another job for me? And all you gotta do is wake up. And you watch that cloud just move along, and it stops, and you drive over to the other side of town. There it is. It's hovered over some business here in Phoenix. You go in. It's a done deal, right? That's where God wants you to be. You're wondering, Is this where I should live? Or does God have a new home in mind for me? And you just look up, and this pillar just moves around through the city, and it parks and hovers over a house. You drive across town, you look at it, you love it. Doesn't matter if you love it, that's what God wants for you. You call Dave Williams, he makes it happen. He writes up the deal, it's your house, you're good to go. You're in. Wouldn't that be awesome? That would be so amazing. That's how God led them there. Now, we got to back up again, though. Why? Why did he lead them there? Why did he put them there? We needed to get their attention. You see, they didn't really have any identity at that point as God's people. All the people right here that are with Moses at this point were all the ones that were born and raised in Egypt. That's all they knew. They knew the culture, they knew the language, they knew the lifestyle, they knew habits. You name it. They even smelled like Egypt, the Bible says, which was leeks and garlic. Now, I love garlic, but man, if you read like garlic, I'm probably going to be like, yeah, man, it's cool. You just stay there and we'll talk, Smelled like Egypt. Everything about them was just radiating Egypt, and God was saying, no, you're my people, you're my chosen people. And he needed to give them that identity. So he brings them here to this point to get their attention. And like I said, he led them. He led them in that cloud. He led them by that fire. He led them the whole entire way. And they get there. And there's nowhere to go. They just seem to be stuck. You ever have a moment where you feel like you're in a position and there's no way out? There's nowhere to turn. There might be one way out. I mean, literally, if you're looking at the situation the Israelites are in, there might be one way out. They might swim. That was pretty much it. I mean, they weren't going to go to the left or to the right. They certainly weren't going to go behind them. The army was coming toward them. They're stuck with nowhere to go, except maybe jumping in the water and swimming. Ever been in a position like that? I have. I can tell you quite recently. I can tell you I'm still not assured 100% that I know where that direction is. I spoke with 2 others this week, and they shared the same thing. So I can tell you, if I'm there and others are there, I imagine many of us in this room are there. Or we've been there at one point in our lives, wondering, how in the world do we move forward from this place? And that's where these Israelites are at. They're just kind of stuck. And they start to hear this sound. It kind of sounds like thunder. And they turn and they look back behind them. Maybe they're seeing this big dust cloud rising up to the sky a couple miles, and they start to realize, hey, wait a tick. That's not thunder. They start realizing that's the Egyptian army heading towards them. What they're hearing are horses. They're hearing thousands of horses and chariots, and they're coming straight at them. And in verse 10, chapter 14 says they were frightened. I think that's an understatement. I think they were terrified. I think they were shaking in their sandals, scared out of their minds. Wouldn't you? I think that's common nature, human nature. But what they did was really great. I'll give them credit. As a nation, at this point, when they're realizing they're stuck and this army's coming after them, there's nowhere to go, they cried out to God. And this is the first time in the scriptures that we see that it's recorded as a people, as a body, as a nation, they cried out to God with one voice. Now, maybe they cried out individually at different times, but now it's in unison. But they quickly go from crying out to God to blame. If there's one thing that we can say the Israelite nation in the Old Testament was good at, it'd have to be complaining. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, time and time again we read, and they grumbled, and they complained. It's always like that seemed to be all they would do, would grumble and complain and fuss and blame. And man, I'm telling you what, if God were to throw out like let's just put the 10 plagues aside, okay? Because the Israelites witnessed all of that. Let's put all of that miracle going on over there aside, and let's just simply look at the fact that God was in a cloud and a fire, and He moved, and all you had to do was follow. It was so simple. So putting that aside and just looking at that, I'm telling you what, if God just was a cloud in front of me and moved and just led me through my day, I can't say that I would be very quick to start complaining and grumbling and crying. I can't say that. Now, to be fair, I wasn't there, okay? And still, they're walking in the desert. I know some of those hot days out here, some of you guys are like, really, grief, man, it's 120. Man, you feel like you're going to, spontaneously combust. It can get hot there in the desert. We can relate. But still, they go from crying out to God to complaining almost within a heartbeat. And what do? They blame Moses. That poor guy. I love Moses. Seriously, Moses was the man. He's my hero. Now, of course, if we have to look through the entire Bible, we have to look throughout history, as in history of the world, the existence, I have to say Jesus is my number one. Of course, there's never been anyone like Jesus. There'll never be anyone like Him ever again. He is God. He's my Lord. He's my Savior. He's my King. He's my best friend. He's everything. So He's number one. My life revolves around Jesus. I don't have my Jesus revolving around my life. I don't put Him in a compartment. He's in the center, and my life revolves around Him. So He's number one. And we have to be fair, because number two then would be John the Baptist. Because Jesus said it. That's our Bible college answer. Because Jesus said it. He said, among women, there's no greater man that's ever been born other than John the Baptist. So I'm going to give him that because Jesus said it. It's true. It's true. But man, a close third, I got to say, to Moses. He was the man. If you don't love him, you really should. I mean, he always poured out his heart. He poured out everything into this congregation, this people group. He loved them. He prayed for them. He invested. He did so much. And it seemed like all they did was fuss at him and criticize him and blame him. Man, there was even a point when God was fed up. Now, you know you're in trouble when God says, "Move it, Moses. I'm wiping them out." And He did. He said that. And Moses, I tell you, my goodness. I have some preacher friends who have been like, whoa. Let me get a seat and some popcorn first. Right? Because, I have friends who've been through some miserable ministry situations where it doesn't seem like there's any ounce of love. Moses could have felt that. You're talking 40 years of constantly, man, you're the problem, man, what I got, man, just constantly always on this guy. And God says, move it. Step aside, Moses. I'm wiping him out. And he throws himself down. And he prays. He says, God, spare them. God did. God did. He's the man. Wow. And at this moment, it's no different. They're crying out. What they're doing is they're looking up because they're crying out to God. And then they look out. And they start doing this. And they start blaming. And if they're not careful, the blame is going to take them to looking down. I mean, they're already looking up. There's a cloud right in front of them. My goodness. God led them there. Don't you think they'd have at least that tiny, minute, my goodness, little mustard seed size faith? I mean, anything at that point? God literally led them there. So Moses, of course, he's getting the blame for all this. They're saying stuff like, man, weren't there enough graves in Egypt? You had to drag us out here to die? Wow, there you go. Thank you. I've been like, by the way, that cloud isn't me. Just want to let you know that it moved and it hit the brakes right here. So it stopped and we stopped. Okay. I mean, obviously the bigger problem was God. That was the bigger problem that they had. Honestly, they're blaming Moses, but really the blame is upon God. God, you led us here. You left us here. You kicked us to the curb, even though it's a curb to the water. You did it. You left us high and dry. What does Moses do? He does what he does. He prays. He cries out and pours out his heart to God. And God answers him. And he tells them exactly what they need to do. Now, this is the part that I really, really, really love. Because this is the text that was read for us earlier, our call to worship. I love this. There's so much in it. There's so much. We could talk only about the 4 aspects that Moses shares, and we could talk about it for weeks and weeks, because there's so much there. But I love it. He just throws it out there. God, what are we doing? What's going on? God answers. Moses addresses the crowd, and I love it. This is what he says. Let's read it together. And it's Exodus chapter 14, and it's 13 and 14. Starting in verse 13. Moses answered the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still." I love that. It's a solid 4-point prescription. And it's going to be on the screen in just a moment. And if you don't have it, write it down. Keep it, because I'm telling you, I know it helped them. And it was forever ago. Right, yes, but for us today, I mean, honestly, we can pull application from this. I know there are some of you who are in situations where you feel like you're boxed in a corner, you don't know which way to turn, you don't know how to get out. You're questioning your very faith. Just follow the prescription. Number 1, don't be afraid. That's what he says. He says, don't be afraid, stand still, watch the Lord work, and be silent. Don't be afraid. That's the first and foremost. I love that because you know what? I always hear this. You know, there are 365 verses in the Bible that tell you don't be afraid. It says don't fear. Well, that's true, but it's also not true. Because there are more than 365, which is great because we need a constant reminder on a daily basis, don't be afraid. We need to just do this. Don't be afraid. Trust in God. Trust in Him. Proverbs 3:5 and 6. 3:5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And don't lean on your own understanding. Verse 6 says, in all your ways acknowledge Him. And He will direct your paths. It's about trust. Don't be afraid. We looked at the story last week with Elijah. Remember Elijah? Boy, don't fear. He's on top of Mount Carmel. He's like fussing at these 450 prophets, false prophets. They had swords. They had spears. They could have torn him to shreds. He's sitting here mocking them. He's teasing them. Why don't you shout a little louder? Maybe he's on vacation. Maybe he's sleeping. Can't hear you. He had all he needed at that point. He was solid. There was a trust in God. He didn't have that fear. Don't fear. Don't fear. Second, stand still. Usually when we get scared, we want to run, don't we? I mean, just honestly, the last thing we want to do is just freeze up and stand still. We want to do something. We want to get out of whatever that situation is. We want to move. Again, with Elijah last week, it's the same thing. He's looking up. No fear. Teasing these guys, mocking these guys. Then suddenly, he looks out. And when he's looking out, he gets this death threat. And what does he do? He runs. The Bible didn't just say he left, got out of town. It says he ran. He ran 150 miles. We know enough about Elijah to know that he ran. Of course, I believe he stopped periodically, but I'm just saying, he did the running. $6 million profit. He did it. He ran. Fear does that, doesn't it? Fear wants us to move on. Fear gets us to run. Fear gets our focus off God and gets us looking all over the place, and we begin running. We want to get out of it. We want to do something about it. But look at the third one there. Watch the Lord work. We mess up because we get scared. We start running or moving or doing something we shouldn't be doing. You know, just stay out of God's way. Just stand still. Just don't get in His way. We can do that so quickly and so easily. And then watch the Lord work. Let Him do it. You know, when those Israelites were here, They're stuck right here, and there's this big pillar in front of them, and there's the Red Sea, and the army's coming up behind them. You know what God did at this point in the text? This is really awesome. He moved that cloud from the front to the back. He got between his people and the enemy coming at him. And he does the same thing for us today. That's the cross of Christ, guys. Us, the enemy, and God's right in the middle. Right in between. By the blood of Christ. We don't have to be afraid. We can stand still. By the death, burial, and the resurrection of Jesus. He will work for us. He'll move. He'll do things on our behalf. He'll deliver us. He'll defend us. He'll redeem us. So watch the Lord. With that fourth one, be silent. I think that's the toughest one. I really think that's the toughest one for us. Because when we get into a situation like that, we want to tell everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to have some people that you can confide in and to be able to sit down. Like, I'll talk with Dave or Aaron. And I'm like, hey guys, let me tell you what's going on. And I just throw it all out there because they're awesome. Because those two guys, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. Seriously. Seriously. I don't think I'd still be right here today without you guys. That's how important it is to have someone you trust. So when you have difficulties, you can go to them, you can tell them anything. And they'll carry those burdens for you and with you. Bob, Vicky, you guys are. We want to just blab, don't we? God says, just be quiet. Just be still and know that I'm God. You know, when we're silent, we can watch the Lord work. And when we watch the Lord work, it's because we're standing still. And we can stand still because we're not afraid. It goes that way. But it goes this way too. When you're not afraid, you can stand still. And when you're standing still, it's because you're allowing the Lord to do the work. And because He's doing the work, you can be silent. It's just really a beautiful prescription. If you get into a situation where you feel like you're backed in and your back's against the wall, you're in a corner, there's no way out, or there might be a way out, but that way out is, I imagine that the Israelites were probably looking at the water as a way out and thinking, no, don't want to do it. There might be a way. God's laying before you. It might not be pleasant, but that's okay. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just stand still. Let the Lord do His work and deliver you, and just be quiet. And if you're going to boast, do like Paul says, boast in the Lord when He does deliver you. Because you know what? When He does the work and you allow Him to do the work and you step back, He gets all the glory. And that's what it's all about, anyways. Giving Him all the glory. So, you're in that position. Never. Real simple, guys. If you don't have it written down, write it down. Know it. Memorize it. Don't be afraid. Stand still. Watch the Lord deliver you. And then be silent. That is how we stand firm. Let's pray. Father, thank you again just for this moment.